Art imitates lives, life imitates art. The penultimate episode of Euphoria's second season, which produced the first half of Lexi's play and purposely blurred the lines between what was happening on stage and the real lives and relationships from which it was drawing inspiration, embodied this attitude. The latest episode, entitled All My Life, My Heart Has Yearned for a Thing I Cannot Name, employs some of the same tricks, has the same push and pull tug of war battle between reality and artifice. But eventually, one overpowers the other. Even the scenes with artistic license become so true to life that, rather than everything feeling slightly fake, everything, even the fake stuff, feels all too real. So what was Euphoria Season 2 Episode 8 about? What happened in the story and how is it important to the rest of the plot? Well, if you're still lost about the latest episode of Euphoria, then we are here to recap and explain it to you. But of course, before any of that, make sure to first hit that subscribe button and smash that notification bell for more updates, and watch out for many spoilers ahead. Now, let's begin. Euphoria Season 2 Episode 8 Recap. Last week, the soul certainly was what was going on with Fez. That was the only thing we knew was real and not a staged event. As a result, reality is the first thing that overwhelms us. Custer admits about the cops finding Mouse's body just as Fez is ready to leave. Fez clutches a palm over his mouth as Ash hurts him with what he hid up his sleeve since the cops might be enlisting through his phone. We watch the tender getting to know you talks the two had over the phone about the little house on the prairie and the character traits they share. As we cut back and forth between Hare and Lexi, the point is self-evident. The exquisite romance will not have a chance to blossom. Fez will not be able to attend the performance. Given the current state of affairs, that may be for the best. Cassie, who had just been rejected by Nate, gate crashes the whole event, and the audience, unsure if this is part of the act or not, begins pantomime-style booing and jeering. Cassie is enraged at Lexi for making fun of her life. Cassie and Maddie enraged for you-know-what. Eventually, everyone is brawling on stage. Lexi remains on stage, sobbing as the battle moves into the stands and then through the halls of the high school. Lexi is eventually granted a fresh lease of life. She decides that the show must go on, and thanks to some chants of her name, which were started by Rue but enthusiastically picked up by everyone else, she returns to the stage, thanks everyone for coming, and dedicates the next segment to Fez, who is currently attempting to take responsibility for Custer's death in order to protect Ash. But instead, Ash gathers all the weapons in the bathroom, locks himself inside, and prepares to fight in the bathtub. As the cops raid the location, Fez continues to knock on the door, pleading with him to come out and for the cops not to strike at him. While chaos shreds the house to fragments of plaster and porcelain, he opens fire through the door and wall. The police fire back, and Fez, who has been hurt badly, screams Ash's name. The shot eventually stopped when one of the officers enters the restroom. He finds Ash on the floor, seemingly perished, but he rises up and blasts the officer. As Fez watches helplessly, a red laser sight tracks up to his head. Ash is shot badly, and he lifelessly falls to the floor. For a brief minute in Euphoria Season 2 Episode 8, the police raid is interrupted with Nate loading up and drinking, making it appear as if he's coming to Fez's retribution. But he's looking for a different type of vengeance. He shows up at Cal's building site, where he's hanging out with some certain friends of his. He tells them about how, when he was 11, he discovered tapes of his father doing certain actions he didn't like, and how, ever since, he's had a recurring dream, the one we saw last week, of Cal doing the same thing with him. Cal is plainly apologetic to keep his personal but familial life apart. He attempted but failed to keep Nate safe. Nate isn't interested in making excuses or apologies. He then gives Cal a thumb drive that he claims holds everything before allowing the officers to arrest his father. What is the ending of Euphoria Season 2 Episode 8? Rue stays the anchor in the midst of it all. We get fragments of her regular narration, and her reaction shots to the play's various happenings are priceless. Her expression when Cassie is breathing through the auditorium doors is particularly good. She pays Elliot a visit to tell him she forgives him, and he plays her a poignant song that makes her cry. They're still not good for each other, but they could be able to become friends in the future. In Lexi's play, she has a stand-in, but from our perspective, she plays herself in every scene, including one in which she eulogizes her father. Rue later rushes over to visit Lexi and congratulates her on the performance, telling her how much it meant to her and how much it helped. They hug and cry over the loss of their fathers, finally able to be best friends without the barrier of addiction and all the anguish of loss between them. The camera pulls back and sees it's a part of Lexi's performance, and it's a wonderful moment of closeness and honesty. A standing ovation is given. Rue kisses Jules on the head before leaving the theater, telling her that she misses and loves her. Her voiceover tells us that she stays clean for the rest of the school year because it was easier than relapsing. Ali's comment reverberates in her brain as she describes how the prospect of one day becoming a nice person is motivation enough to keep trying. She speculates that there might be something in that. Perhaps she's correct. Euphoria Season 2 Finale. Final thoughts. Euphoria Season 2 Episode 8 is a stunning conclusion to a season that had us confused and annoyed in the middle, but engaged and invested by the end. The majority of the character arcs come to a satisfying conclusion, as we are no longer lost in the translation of love, drugs, and maltreatment, but rather find ourselves on a new page, ready to begin again. This episode's ending and cinematography are so smooth that you'll have a hard time figuring out how you got from one position to the next. The music also helps a lot, as it plays on the characters' highs and lows. Of course, there are melodramatic moments, but they seem necessary in this episode to tie everything together. Euphoria Season 2 finale holds the show closer to your heart with outstanding performances from Zendaya and Maud Apatow to break it and piece it back together in its own unique way. Euphoria Season 2 finale. Fan reactions. That was a blast ending, but what do fans think about it? Finally, we learned why Fez never made it to Lexi's play. At home, he's ready to leave. He even had Faye iron his dress shirt, and he's got a whole bouquet of roses set. But Custer is here causing a major delay. He tells Fez that the cops found Mouse's body, but Faye says he's lying. Insert wholesome break. We get a montage of Fez and Lexi's phone conversation. They talk about their plans for the future. For him, it's living on a farm with animals, and for her, it's balancing 3 kids with her writing career. They talk about their pitfalls on social media, the things they have in common, and why they're glad they became friends. Here are some of the most remarkable tweets we've gathered from viewers. So glad Faye showed some loyalty. #Euphoria. One user wrote. Another said, my apologies to Faye. When it continued, she held it down. #Euphoria. Dear Cassie Howard, I am so sorry I was not your mother. Another one tweeted, while another user said, Lexi recreating the scene with Cassie on the carousel, oh, this is hell, with a crying face emoji. We are felt. And of course, a lot of people dislike the idea that Rue is walking freely owing $10K to somebody. That's all for today. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and smash that notification bell for more episodes.